Norman, do you feel that that it's all plausible deniability, or do you think that there is something more sinister going on? Because I can't imagine. I mean, listen, you're in New York City. You know, some of these extremely affluent, even famous people, they really do live in this confined bubble from the rest of society. And that bubble is being pierced right now, and they don't like it. But I can't imagine that they are this naive to what is going on. And the fact that the president of the United States says, well, I don't believe that 8,000 innocent Palestinians were killed.
He doesn't believe their numbers.
Yeah, it's
but he
like
believes Israel.
No, maybe 6,000 were killed. So in that case, it's not as bad. This irrational justification for what's happening, and the fact that no one, and this is something I would love to hear your thoughts on, no one even dares to address the fact that Netanyahu's government has been funding Hamas for the longest time to be able to create a scenario where they were hoping for something like this, where they could commit an ethnic cleanse and get away with it. I just can't imagine that there is that many naive people out there who are still espousing this bullshit.
I think one has to make a distinction between the people in power, sometimes called the elites, and ordinary people. Judging from conversation, I'm not a social butterfly. Even when my super, who's from Jamaica, and the painter came to my apartment because some things needed to be repaired. I have a wonderful relationship with the workers in my building, but we never talk politics. We talk mostly about weather, actually. But I was struck that at one point, he said to me, this was last week, he said, what do you think about what's going on in Gaza, in that place, you know? And there's obviously a lot of unsettled feeling about what's going on there now. And also, I have to say, and I'll say it on every occasion that has availed me, that the demonstration by Jewish Voices for Peace last Friday night at Grand Central Station was just totally magnificent. I'd never beheld a sight like that. I don't know all the logistics, and it was a complicated event from the logistical point of view, but somebody must have brilliantly orchestrated in terms of its aesthetics. That was, you know.
Are you a member? I'm a member of JVP. I sit in on their meetings quite a bit. It's an amazing group of people, and the majority of the people that are really like running stuff have been doing this a long time. Like there's definitely a long history of organizing that has come together in a very brilliant fashion.
Utterly brilliant. No, I'm not a member because, first of all, it's a young people's organization.
No, it is not at all. Oh my God, you are so wrong. The majority of people are actually my parents' age. When you are wrong, Rosalind Pichesky, 84, she just got her.
I know Roz.
So you know.
Yeah, but Roz is a bit of an outlier. She's 81. I think she's going to smack you.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm so sorry I did that. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. But no, I mean, I think you're wrong. I've been on the call with 800 people and it looked like at least 50% were my parents' generation. I'm just saying.
Okay, you might be right, but I've had experience with Jewish Voices of Peace. I had some differences. I was just writing my brother in Chicago because he just joined. And he asked my opinion. But whatever quibbles or reservations or differences I had, they vanished on Friday night. That was just a magnificent sight to behold. And now to get back to your question. So I think it's quite clear at the popular level, Israel its stock is plummeting. This is Black Friday for Israel, what's happening with public relations. At the elite level, I think it's quite complicated. Because you have to remember that, as of course you know, Israel is a critical U.S. ally in the Middle East. And its showing on October 7th was a complete catastrophe. You know, Gaza, as we know, is a tiny place. And it's the most surveilled place on God's earth. The most advanced cutting-edge technology is used to surveil that place. And not just the technology. Gaza used to be run by what's called the Palestinian Authority. And the Palestinian Authority lost elections in 2006. But a lot of their supporters remained behind, which means there was a huge amount of what's called human intelligence, all of these collaborators with Israel who were still in Gaza. And nonetheless, it's a kind of very hard to conceive. Gaza is very densely populated, and everybody is related to everybody because each family, it's about the average family, I think, is 7 people. So they're marrying other people in the area. So everybody ends up being married to everybody. And yet Hamas was able to conceal an operation. They say, I don't think I have reason to doubt this particular statement of theirs, they had been planning it for 2 years. And the number of people who burst the gates of Gaza, it had to be around 2,000 because Israel said it killed 1,500 militants. And there were about 290 hostages, which means there had to have been militants taking the hostages back. So you get a figure of about 2,000. And this whole thing, what I just described, passed unnoticed by Israeli intelligence. So it was a complete, from the strictly military intelligence point of view, it was a complete catastrophe. And Israel has this concept, it's called deterrence capacity. And deterrence capacity is just a fancy term for the power, the fear the Arabs have of Israel. And each time there is a Arab quote unquote victory, it diminishes the deterrence capacity. And then you have to do something spectacularly evil to increase the deterrence capacity. Well, what happened on October 7th was a catastrophe from the point of view of deterrence capacity. How could these people locked in a concentration camp for 20 years, nothing goes in, nothing goes out without Israeli surveillance, all of these technologies focused on watching every single step, every single move of every single person in Gaza, and they eluded it all. So from the point of view of Israel and the United States, Israel has to do something spectacularly evil in order to restore the deterrence capacity. And the other thing is, aside from Israel's role in the Middle East, there is the question of Jewish donors for Biden. And that's not trivial. I mean, you see it right now. I mean, now you see it out in the open. I'm not going to personalize this, and I'm going to have to leave in 5 minutes. I'm not going to personalize this, but you know, when I was denied tenure in 2007, you knew the Board of Trustees and other actors in Chicago were applying pressure on the pool to deny me tenure, but you could never prove it. You know, these things are done very subtly behind closed doors. Like, you know that guy Finkelstein on your faculty? I heard he's up for tenure. You're not going to be giving that guy tenure, are you? You know, like that.
Yeah.
Now when you watch what's unfolding before your eyes, the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania, Harvard, Columbia, all the alumni, and this is no exaggeration, they're talking about withholding $100 million at a shot, $50 million at a shot. They say if you don't come out with a statement condemning what was done to October 7th, you're not getting any money from us. If you're going to let those student organizations chant those chants, you're not getting any money from us. And now take those figures and multiply it tenfold and 100-fold. And that's the pressure that's being put on Biden. So just from the point of view of the coming election, he goes to Israel. Yes, in part, it's to shore up an alliance with a critical ally at a point where that ally has been spectacularly exposed for its weakness. That's true. Sends over 2 aircraft carriers because there is a considerable worry Is Israel any longer even a fighting force? Is it even a fighting force, or is it going to have to depend on the U.S.? But also, I think there is that consideration of the donors to his reelection and needing that money.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.